Most games like to gently lead you into the flow of things, let you find your feet in a new virtual world. Other games enjoy pulling the rug out from under you by killing off you, the hero, right at the start of things, often horribly. Consider these times you canonically died in the first, say 10 minutes of a game and had to deal with that whole business. RIP you. Oh, and beware spoilers for the following games. Obviously, it's like right at the beginning, so it's fine.
The Call of Duty series is infamous for offing playable characters to teach us that any conflict can be viewed from many sides, as multiple brushstrokes in a narrative portrait that, when you step back, reveal the true horrors of war. Or so that developers can add in cool nuclear explosions and helicopter crashes without having to figure out how characters like the doomed Sergeant Paul Jackson could possibly have survived. But you'll forgive us though for thinking that Dan Wolf Lyle, the first playable character in Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, might have made it more than 10 minutes. After all, he survives falling from space onto a frozen moon of Jupiter, and doesn't accidentally skid into this icy ravine,
entry point's 30 meters dead ahead, keep moving,
and isn't outfaced by this C-12 drone tank. Oh, Wolf, is there anything you can't survive? Well, let's have a look at his medical records. Okay, allergies. Jon Snow wearing a goldfish bowl? Yeah, not a quarter of an hour into the game, Wolf meets a dire end at the hands of Kit Harington-faced Martian Admiral Salem Koch, who has you summarily killed by his goons. Oh, Dan! We'll always have Jupiter.
By defeating Ares, Kratos, the once mortal warrior, became the new god of war. However, Kratos soon found himself alone on Olympus, shunned by his fellow gods.
Kratos is a man of action. Well, to be more accurate, he's a man of a single action, which is murdering everyone who gets in his way. Well, at least he does what he knows best. However, in God of War 2, Kratos still isn't quite getting along with the gods due to how he's still smashing the world to bits in the name of Sparta. He won't even listen to Athena, who made him the God of War and gave him his cool new blades.
Do not turn your back on me.
I owe you nothing.
Rude. The gods don't waste any time knocking Kratos down a peg or two though, as a big eagle immediately zaps you down to size and sets the Colossus of Rhodes on you. At least Zeus has your back though, offering you the Sword of Olympus. The only catch is that you have to drain all of your godly powers into it to make it work, and you'll lose them if you let go. It'll be fine, as long as you don't boast about how great you are before getting squished by a giant metal hand.
Do you see, gods of Olympus? Do you need more proof than this?
Oh, for f***'s sake, Kratos. Yep, you go through a whole load of fights, platforming and puzzles just for Kratos to balls it up in a cutscene and be stabbed to death with the Sword of Olympus by Zeus, who was the eagle all along.
Classic Zeus.
Fortunately, Titan Gaia saves Kratos from permadeath, meaning he just has to regain all his powers from scratch. Damn it, Kratos, you and your big mouth, and you had to go and anger the gods, and now I've got to go re-unlock all of your skills, you and I can't, you're so annoying, you just had to. But honestly, I'm totally fine with it. It's fine.
Hey, why did you run?
It gets old, giving counsel to the new ones. Don't take it personal.
Running through walls, making things appear. You look like you've been here a while. You must know how this place works then.
Works? This place isn't hard to understand.
The title of Murdered Sole Suspect is your first clue that you're not going to be not murdered. But the immediacy and strangeness with which the game offers you might catch you off guard. You are Ronan O'Connor, rookie cop in Salem with a bad attitude, a 20-a-day habit and a strong waistcoat game. As the story starts, you're hot on the heels of the lethal and boringly named Bell Killer.
You're under arrest.
Seriously, the Salem Slasher, the Masked Murderizer, those are just off the top of my head. Salem newspapers, call me. O'Connor does get his bell rung, mind, when his mysterious nemesis shoves him out an attic window onto the tarmac below. Then, plunged into an out-of-body experience, O'Connor can see his broken body hasn't quite kicked the bucket.
I'm still alive. I can fix it.
Cue one of gaming's weirdest sequences as you align your spirit limbs with their physical equivalents in a bid to climb back inside your own body? He's doing it all wrong, this is how you climb inside your own body. Then, the Bell Killer finishes the job, filling Ronan's mostly dead body with bullets. So Ronan's given up the ghost, but his ghost won't give up. See, he doesn't get to move on until he finishes up his police work and closes the case on the Bell Killer from beyond the grave. Which isn't going to be easy given that he can't even open a filing cabinet. As far as I understand it, police work is 90% filing cabinets.
When I think of Dragons and Hearts, I think of that 90s film where Sean Connery voiced Draco the Friendly Dragon.
Never heard of it.
It's a stone-cold classic. That was until I played 2012 RPG Dragon's Dogma, which pulls the rug from under you twice in its prologue. First, it turns out this handsome knight you start playing as isn't the main character at all, quickly skipping forward in time to a peaceful-looking beach where you can create your own proper character. I always love a bit of character customization, hair a bit darker, cheekbones up slightly, heart inside rib cage. Yeah, that's the stuff. So when this dragon shows up, you're ready to take your newly created hero for a spin. Come on, you big scaly rapscallion, I've played Skyrim, I know how this goes. You act all scary for a bit, fly off, and then we meet again at the end of the game. Now, Fiend, I have you!
Mi escurate.
Oh, you've eaten my heart. Touché. Now, surely death by heart gobbling in your very first battle should be game over. But of course, this isn't actually the end of the story. In devouring your delicious aortas, that dragon actually made you sort of immortal, so you return as an Arisen and can go RPG questing to your heart's, get it, content. Just with very poor circulation. It's basically Skyrim with pins and needles.
When you've had a long hard day saving the universe, all you want to do is put your feet up. But like an on-duty cop tempting fate by announcing their fast-approaching retirement, ridiculously well-named team leader Commander Shepard carries on with the Normandy crew in Mass Effect 2, only to be attacked by an unknown ship with a very large laser beam. Shepard remains calm, encouraging the crew to escape in pods before they get blown to pieces, whilst going off to look for jocular pilot Joker, walking through burning corridors and open space to reach him. And in a final action that shows even a renegade Shep is a good Shep, Shepard saves Joker by shoving him in the last available pod. It's just so brave. Shep is blasted out into nearby space, and we watch on helplessly as they realise their suit is breached, die in the vacuum of space, and fall into a nearby planet. But it was the start of the game, and we're going to go and stop the Reapers. But thanks to future space tech and video game lore, Shep is brought back to life by Cerberus's Lazarus project. During the process, we see exactly what death in space and plummeting to a planet's surface can do to a human body. Still, now we get to go through the class enhancement procedure and get a shiny new Normandy. Totally worth the horrific experience of dying alone in space. Totally worth it.
I didn't care if I was in heaven or hell. All I wanted
was to kill my assassins. Sometimes you get what you wish for.
If this list teaches us anything, it's not to take a game at face value. For instance, at the opening of 90s PlayStation dungeon crawler Blood Omen Legacy of Kain, we are introduced to a world where horrible vampires are butchering the guardians of the Pillars, 9 totems that are linked to the health of the world. Ooh, that vampire is gonna pay, I assume. Let's get crucifixing. Except your playable character Kain is more interested in trying to get served a drink, and this elitist jerk isn't shy of dropping a title into conversation if it helps get him sozzled.
No mug of ale for a weary traveller from distant Corhagen? I can reward you well, for I am of noble blood. I stay open for no man in these dark times.
Then your first playable action as Kain is to stagger outside onto the waiting blades of assassins who buzz around you like hornets who've learned to use swords, i.e. the ultimate weapon. Jeez, this is a bit steep. I've only been playing 2 minutes. Get off, you rascals. Don't you know I'm of noble birth? When my father hears about this, he's going to... Uh-oh, hang on. No. In the afterlife, Kain agrees to become a vampire if it means getting revenge on his assassins, kicking off a lengthy dungeon-crawling adventure where you kill everything, only pausing to restore your health by draining the blood from an innocent human. So the whole vampire revenge thing is... on hold?
Here, take this.
What's this?
This is who you have to kill.
Painkillers are amazing things, particularly if you have to pass a kidney stone. However, drop off the S and you have a 2004 first-person shooter with a very irresponsible protagonist. You see, in Painkiller, even before you have the chance to pick up the controller and do anything, Daniel Garner and his wife Catherine decide to take a little drive in rain so heavy that it looks like if you stepped out into it, you would literally drown.
Oh, I can't believe how hard it's raining. We sure picked a great day to celebrate my birthday.
It's just a little rain. It'll dry.
But Dan isn't bothered about the driving conditions, and instead he decides to drive really fast and get easily distracted by how beautiful his wife is. Dude, eyes on the road. He ignores the advice you inevitably shout at the screen, causing him to crash into an oncoming vehicle, killing Dan and his wife instantly. What did I say, Dan? This one's on you. Maybe that's why Catherine ends up in heaven in the afterlife, whilst Dan, or you, end up in purgatory. Years later, smooth-haired angel Samael offers Dan purification so he can move up to heaven and join his wife. All Dan has to do is destroy 4 of Lucifer's generals in order to prevent a heavenly war.
These 4 are generals in Lucifer's army. They're extremely powerful and well guarded by their minion hordes.
Just kill Lucifer's heavily guarded generals. No, that's cool, that's fine. No, Dan, why? Why, Dan? Why? Dan, why? At least Dan is looking better than all the skeletal fiends in the graveyard who are all wearing full suits of armour for some reason. Maybe it's so Dan keeps focused on shiny armoured things instead of getting distracted by a pretty lady again. See, Dan, this is why I should have been in control of you from the start. Ooh, is that a little kitty? Hello, kitty. How's it going?
So those are some games where you die within pretty much the first 10 minutes of the game. Let us know any others in the comments below. Thanks for getting to this point. Hopefully you've got to this point because you didn't die. If you did, it's not our fault. It's better not be. Anyway, go check out some other videos here as well. Hopefully you'll be alive by the end of these. And don't forget to check out our friends over at OutsideXbox.com. Like, comment, subscribe, and stay alive. Bye!
Yeah, that was nice.